You don't like other humans. Would you like other humans? Have you seen this mess? Have you seen this mess we call civilization? Yo, what's up guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin and welcome to another episode of Wolf Tales, episode 3. In the last episode, we met Fuyu, our little wolf guest's good friend, and we found out that our companion here is actually a wolf princess, a demi-human wolf princess. It's kind of intense, to say the least. But they fell asleep after eating dinner, and we are now, we just finished going to bed. I wake up bright and early as the morning sun lights up my room. Oh, by the way, make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me because you already know your support's greatly appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as leave a comment. Anything will do. I really would appreciate whatever you guys have to say. Just leave it in the comment section down below for me. In spite of the hellish blizzard from 2 days ago, it seems that the weather has begun to clear up, and the freezing cold is becoming more tolerable by the day. At this rate, I'll soon be able to go outside without overdressing. Filled with optimistic thoughts, I leave my bedroom and return to the main living area. The moment I enter the room, a strong odor reaches my nose, and I instinctively turn to look towards the kitchen. Come on! Is it done yet? No matter how many times you ask, breakfast isn't going to be ready any quicker. If you're looking for something to do, why don't you go wake up Abby-chan? I'd rather smother her in her sleep. If you try it, little brat, see what happens. Bitch! Ugh, I'd rather smother her in my sleep. Bitch! You want to try? You want to try? I can attack first. Those 4 people that I talked about in the last episode. Those 4 people. You're about to meet their same fate, bitch. Funya! Fuyu jumps back in surprise as she suddenly hears my voice directly behind her. Oh, Abby-chan, you're awake! You're just in time. Breakfast will be ready shortly. I like her being this close. Look at her. I just wanted to oh, she looks so huggable. Oh, goodness. I just want to hug her and, like, pat her head and just be like, oh, good, Yoshi. Please, take a seat. I'll bring your food when it's ready. Oh, okay. I'll leave it to you then. Having no intention of stopping Mirari when she's cooking, I do as she suggests and sit down on the couch. Grrr. Miserable humans, preying on a princess's kind nature. Oh, shut up. It's not like I asked her to cook me breakfast or anything, baka. Oh. Besides, you seem pretty eager to take advantage of her kindness yourself. Just a second ago, you were sitting on the floor with your tail wagging like a dog waiting for its master to feed it. A dog? You're comparing me to a dog? I mean, dogs are descendants of wolves. They're basically wolves, but have been tamed by humans for generations. Yes? Besides, oh, well, dogs and wolves are pretty much the same anyway, right? Don't you insult me, human! Wolves are nothing like dogs! I smirk to myself as I enjoy Fuyu's reactions. Yeah, she does have really good reactions. Oh? How so? I thought dogs and wolves were descendants of the same ancestors. That doesn't mean we're the same! You wouldn't mix up a human and a monkey, would you? Dogs are pitiful, subservient creatures who only know how to bow before human beings. Wolves, on the other hand, are proud hunters who don't need the help of any other race to survive. So a proud, independent creature like a wolf would never do something like sleep in a human's cabin and eat their food, right? Fuyu's face contorts with displeasure. Her claimants of independence hold a little weight in the moment given her current predicament. That's different. I'm not gonna lie. I like both of them. I like the really cute, energetic type. It's weird, but they both kind of elicit like the same reaction, but in a different way. Because like she's so fun to tease, and she's so cute. She's so cute, but I like her strong and like commandeering personality that she like pretends to have. It's really, really adorable. It's really, really cute. Is it? Grrr. Well, what about you? What? Yeah, what are you even doing out here? This is no place for a human being to live, let alone a human female. Are you saying because I'm a woman, I can't live out in the forest? You're a woman too, aren't you? Like, okay, whatever. No, you do you, boo. What? What, were you exiled or something? Is this your punishment? Were you caught doing something heinous and banished from society forever? Yeah, that must be it. You did something unforgivable, and you were sent out here to live the rest of your days in solitude. How could I have missed this before? Now I feel in danger just being in the same room as you. A look of panic spreads across Fuyu's face as she slowly backs away from me. You're so cute. You think that'll work on me? Aren't you funny? Aren't you cute? Would you stop smearing my good name? I moved out here of my own free will because I don't get along well with other people. Hearing my explanation, Fuyu stops backing away and begins to look at me with eyes filled with curiosity. You don't like other humans? Would you like other humans? Have you seen this mess? Have you seen this mess we call civilization? Because I feel like you've probably seen it in some facet or another, and you should know it's trash. Seriously, society is falling apart as we know it. The United States is becoming a shithole. It's gone down for centuries now. Okay, well, centuries might be a little bit of a stretch, but you get the idea. The European Union is just having a bunch of arguments with each other. Britain doesn't even want to be part of anything anymore. Russia is being Russia. It's like all of society. The Middle East is just a complete mess. Africa's a complete mess. The only thing you never hear about in the news is freaking Greenland. And that's because there's like nobody living there. If I could live out in the woods with a pack of wolf girls, I'd do it. That's the short version, yeah. Then what about us? You and Mirari? Fuyu nods. You let us both into your home. You forced your way into my home. Ah, and you haven't tried to kick us out or anything. Is having us here causing you distress? Yes. Not particularly. I almost reply yes without thinking, but before I can do, Fuyu's puppy dog eyes kick in once more. Looking at her pitiful, pleading eyes, I can't bring myself to call her a nuisance. I don't know. See, I love her responses. See, she's like this tough, badass chick that's in her mind, but then she's like. It's a bit weird having you two here, but it's not the same feeling I get when I'm around other people. Honestly, I'm having a hard time thinking of Fuyu as a person. She seems like a mischievous puppy than a rebellious young woman. She definitely acts like a dog. She acts like a freaking tsundere dog. It's not like I want to play with you or anything, Baka. Now throw the tennis ball. Maybe it's because I like animals, but I guess you two aren't so bad. That's just my impression so far, though. Given another few days, I might think quite differently, especially if you keep trying to smother me in my sleep, you bitch! Oh, is that so? Fuyu analyzes my answer carefully. She doesn't appear to be particularly invested in my answer, nor does it bring her any joy. Her question is one posed out of curiosity with no ulterior motive. Well, I wouldn't worry about you changing your mind. After all, the princess and I won't be staying long enough for you to get sick of our company. No matter how warm it is here, we must return to our pack as soon as possible. That works for me. A couple of nights is more than enough. I've done my good deed for the year. Now I just want to be left alone. I'm not in agreement with Fuyu's statement. I understand. I won't try and stop you from returning to your pack. As soon as you two are ready to leave, I'll see you off. Okay, princess, it's time to go. Fuyu? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb, princess. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You've had your fun. Now it's time we return to the pack. Already? But we only just... That's my point. We must leave now before you grow accustomed to this lifestyle. Relying on humans is no good, princess. We must return to our own kind. Once the three of us have finished eating our breakfast, Fuyu wastes no time before making good on her promise. That stifled smile, indicative of a full belly, disappears from her face, replaced by a serious expression and a tone of voice to match. Do we have to go back no matter what? I quite like it here, and Hime-sama. Fuyu grabs Mirari by the shoulder. Don't be selfish! You have been troubled this human girl enough as it is, not to mention the worry you have no doubt caused our kin. It is time for us to return. But Mirari turns away from Fuyu and casts me a sidelong glance. It's okay if I stay here a while longer, isn't it, Abi-chan? Hime-sama. I won't cause any trouble or do anything that you tell me not to. I'll cook, I'll clean, I'll help out as much as I can. So, please. Hime-sama. I avert my gaze as Mirari begins to plead. No matter the reason for her desperation, I can't afford to let her stay. My supplies were really only enough to last me through the winter, and there's also an ethical question of interfering with my half-human affairs. Plus, Fuyu said it herself, Mirari's family and friends are waiting for her. Her place is with them, not with me. Mirari, please, Abi-chan, just let me... I place my index finger on Mirari's soft lips. Mirari, don't you think you've worried your family enough as it is? You belong with the rest of your pack. I understand. Mirari gives up without a fight, and as I quickly shut her down. Her eyes downcast, she slowly trudges towards the door, not looking back even once. Thank you for not making this difficult, Abi-chan. Mirari may act defiant at times, but she's a reasonable person. Hearing you tell her to go home should be enough. Yeah, no problem. Feeling bad about turning Mirari down, I find it hard to look Fuyu in the eye. As my eyes wander around the cabin, I suddenly realize something. Oh, hold on a second. I take a pair of coats off the coat rack and present them to Fuyu. Here, take these. It's cold outside, you'll need to stay warm. And we're about the same size. We are? Oh. That's cool. I guess we're pretty well off also. Okay, never mind. In response to my offer, Fuyu shakes her head. I appreciate your kindness, but I'll have to decline. Our tolerance for the cold is significantly greater than that of humans, and anything less than a blizzard, garments such as those will only get in our way. Oh, I see. I take another look at the outfits Midai and Fuyu are wearing. Indeed, there's no way I'd dare dress so sparingly out there, nor would any normal girl. If those two are comfortable while wearing so little, they must indeed be a far greater tolerance for the cold than I do. In that case, I guess this is goodbye. Maybe I'll see you two again someday. Don't count on it. We live on the other side of this mountain. Were it not for the snowstorm, we would have never met to begin with. This shall be our final farewell. Confidently asserting so, Fuyu turns her back on me and heads towards the door. As she does so, however, Midai no longer seems ready to leave. Mirari? Mirari's eyes shift back and forth. It seems like she wants to say something to me, but can't quite bring herself to speak. Come along, princess. Let us not delay our departure any further. At Fuyu's command, Mirari lowers her head and walks along obediently. Mirari slowly unlocks the door, then regretfully sets foot outside, gently pushed along by her dear friend. Moments later, the door slams shut, and at last, I am all alone once more. For the next hour or so, I find myself wandering around the campus aimlessly. Having already slept and eaten, there's honestly very little remaining that I need to do. I have enough supplies to last for a while. It's too cold outside to think about working, and my hobbies are all the type that are enjoyed while resting idly. Put simply, I'm bored. Solitude may be its own reward, but the cost at which becomes clear. There's nothing to do out here during the colder months, and even when things warm up, the choices can't compare to those available in the city. At least with those two wolf girls around, things were a bit more lively. Other people are a nuisance, but a pet could be just what I need. That being said, what kind of pet would be suitable out in the middle of nowhere like this? Giving myself some... That is the worst fucking radio I've ever heard in my life. Giving myself something to think about, I decide to turn on the radio in the kitchen. After adjusting the frequency and waiting for a short while, I'm able to retrieve the weather forecast, which paints a rather placid picture. Maybe I should go out and get some water while it's still mild outside. The weather can change out here at the drop of a hat, so it never hurts to have some at surplus. I grab my coat and head out from the door, resolving myself into slightly more active than usual. Before this pleasant weather changes for the worst, I'm going to shore up my supplies, just as any prudent survivor should. I gotta admit, Lo, that becomes a problem. Like, I know that this summer was kind of like an odd mix. Like, I had, it was kind of nice to only have to work and do nothing else, but, I mean, it became kind of boring. And even, like, I could only record so much stuff for YouTube. Like, seriously. Not to mention, I can only, like, keep track of so many, like, different series that I can do. So it's kind of like... This summer, I had a lot of those spells where I was, like, really bored and didn't know what to do. Especially, like, during May and during the beginning of June when I had gotten kicked out and found a new place to live. I was just kind of, like, at a loss before I really picked up YouTube again and kind of restarted off everything. Who the hell thought it would be a good idea to fetch water? Everything has turned this... I like how I hate all of my life choices. That's just like me in real life. Seriously. Everything has turned to sludge out there. The entire landscape has changed since before the snowstorm. I hurriedly closed the door behind me as I returned from gathering water. Unfortunately, my trip proved fairly fruitless, as the spring from which I usually gather drinking water has temporarily been blocked off. The snowstorm had shifted the terrain, making my usual routes rather inaccessible, or far more dangerous than usual. Screw it, I guess I'll just stay inside after all. It may be boring to stay indoors all day, but at least it's safe. Still shivering slightly, I regretfully remove my coat and flop onto the couch, covering myself with a blanket, the same one I used to cover the two sleeping wolf girls yesterday. I settle myself in and try and make myself comfortable. Let's see now, where did I put the remote? If it isn't within arm's reach, I'm not getting up to look for it. I look around the immediate vicinity of the couch. Unfortunately, the remote is nowhere to be seen. It's probably still in the kitchen from when I last watched TV while cooking. I guess I'll just sit here then. What a fun person I am. As I sit in silence, I notice a faint sound. It sounds like a voice. Did you guys pick up that voice? But it's too quiet for me to understand what they're saying. Oh great, now I'm hearing things. Maybe I've lived alone out here for too long after all. I try to ignore the voice by focusing on my mind elsewhere. However, the voice doesn't disappear. It seems to cut in and out with ample static cropping up between words. What the heck could that... Oh, the radio. I unintentionally raised to my feet and turned towards the kitchen where I have left the radio turned on. Seeing as how it's battery powered, I figured I'd better turn it off when I'm not using it. Before I can do so, however, I hear something ominous from the other end of the radio. Bad weather incoming. Avalanche last night. Paths changed. Advising caution. It was worse than I thought, eh? Now I'm definitely not going outside. But what about the wolf girls? I'm worried. I know they probably survived because, like, the entire half the point of this is to romance either or both of them or whatever. I don't know much about it other than that you romance one of the girls because it's dating sim. I turn the radio off and grab the TV remote, which is sitting on the kitchen counter. I then return to the living room and sit down on the couch, remote in hand. Alright, where were we? Oh yeah, finding something to watch, shall we? Now, what did I start watching last time? Before I turn on the television, I go wrap myself in the blanket I used to cover myself just a moment ago. The second I go do so, however, I feel a cold chill running down my spine. Oh shit, the girls. They wouldn't know about the avalanche last night, or the bad weather that's about to hit. If they get caught up in that, and they find that their path back home has been blocked off, those poor girls might be... Like, they might have a higher tolerance for the cold. I know that I do, but, like, when you stay out there for a very long time, I mean, look how one of them ended up. Caught in a blizzard. Like, what if they were caught in the avalanche? Okay, they wouldn't be caught in the avalanche, apparently, because they wouldn't know about it. It means that it happened yesterday, and they left this morning. So, yeah, I better go find them. Hell, how can I sit back and relax knowing that those girls might be in danger? I can watch TV anytime. For now, I've got a couple of wolf girls to track down. Exactly, that would be my thought. I'd be like, avalanche happened last night. They left this morning. Places are weird. Oh, we're in Oregon. We have to be in Oregon, right? That looks just like the Oregon license plate. Am I crazy? That looks like... It's got the big old tree, right? Right in the center. Absolutely. Right? Maybe I'm crazy. It looks... Oh, no, that's definitely it. You can see the little blue splotches right here, which is those blue sets of trees. And then the big one in the middle. So this takes place in Oregon, 100%. I mean, Oregon can get cold, but I mean, I'm curious about, like, this. I mean, I guess in the mountainish area, yeah, no, I can see it. Covered in several layers, I head out in the frozen wasteland before me in search of the two girls. But on starting my drive, I quickly realized that the cold is the least of my worries. As noted earlier, the radio confirmed that all the user scenery has changed since my last ventured outside. Familiar landmarks are gone, paths have been blocked off, and solid ground has been replaced by sleet. If I'm not careful, I might end up getting lost or stuck myself. Look at our character. So we're apparently like the similar body type as them. We've got about... Honestly, like, my character doesn't look all that different. Except she's probably cuter in the face area because my face is kind of ugly as fuck. But her hair kind of similar. Mine is a little bit blonde at the end, but her natural hair color and mine are very similar. Mine's a very darkish brown, but in the light it kind of looks pretty similar to that. I obviously don't have nearly as cute clothes, and I can't drive, but still. Okay, now, where would those two girls have gone? I've never been to the other side of the mountain, but if my memory serves, I follow a vague recollection of the map I had purchased when I first moved out here. The actual pathways have obviously changed since then, but my memory gives me at least a little hint to the direction I should be heading. Now then, if I remember correctly, it should be this road here, or at least it was back when there was a road. I come to a stop as the road I'm following appears to end abruptly. A few hundred feet in front of me, where there would generally be road, there's a huge pile of snow. From my viewpoint, it's impossible to bypass. The road is blocked off after all. Maybe there's a path or something that I just can't see from here. If I move a bit closer... I force myself to get out of the truck, shivering as the blizzard rages. My legs may be weary, but my stomach is full and my body is warm. If those girls are out here, I'm going to find them. Mirari! Fuyu! Are you out here? Mirari! Fuyu! I call out to the girls' names as I head closer to the obstructed pathway. As I near the wall of snow, a vague figure appears up ahead. Squinting, I try to discern the identity of the being in front of me. Mirari? Fuyu? Abi-chan! Fuyu! Hearing Fuyu's surprised exclamation, I rush over to the figure up ahead. Once I get closer, I realize that it's not just Fuyu. Mirai is with her too. However, Abby-chan, please help me. Mirai suddenly collapsed when we were walking, so I carried her myself, but the path is... I know, most of the paths have changed or have been blocked off. You won't be able to get through here, not today. But then what should we do? Mirai's unconscious. She needs somewhere warm to rest and something to eat and calm down, Fuyu. If you panic, you're going to make things harder on yourself. For the time being, you're both coming back to my cabin. I'll help you to carry Mirai back there, and we'll make sure to keep her nice and warm. No, but we couldn't possibly. I'm not asking. You take her arm, and I'll take the other. You got it? Yes, I understand. If it's for the princess, then... Fuyu comes to her senses and grabs hold of Mirai tightly. I do the same, grabbing Mirai's other arm and wrapping her arm around my shoulders. Like so, Fuyu and I begin to carry the unconscious princess back to my truck, braving the hellish blizzard once more. I'm so glad we did that, because I would feel so bad even if she ended up making her way back to the cabin, realizing that she had no other choice. Like, I would feel terrible if she was unconscious and like badly injured. Through great exertion and with much difficulty, I managed to bring Mirai and Fuyu back to the cabin safe and sound. While the two girls aren't injured, it seems like they're both utterly exhausted, with Mirai still unconscious and likely running a fever. Fuyu is sick with worry and clearly overexerting herself, but otherwise she appears to be fine. How is Mirai doing? Any change? In response to my question, Fuyu shakes her head. Still nothing. The princess won't wake up at all. That's too bad. Oh well, just give her some time and she'll be okay. I hope so. Fuyu sulks as she shrugs off my optimism. It seems that her concern for her friend is not easily dismissed. You know, Mirai was in far worse shape when I found her. As long as she's kept warm and given a chance to rest, I think she'll definitely pull through. For the time being, positioning myself directly behind Fuyu and place one hand on the girl's head. I'm more worried about you, Fuyu. Me? Why would you be worried about me? Is it really that strange? You were out in that blizzard too, you know. You even were wound up carrying Mirai all by yourself before I got there. Not to mention the panic and stress you must be suffering from. How are you holding up? Do you need anything, Fuyu? Is there something I can do for you? Don't be absurd. Your concern is entirely unnecessary, human. Fuyu pouts and turns away with a red tinge onto her cheeks. You should focus your attention on Mirai instead. She's the important one here, not me. I would gladly give my life if it meant bringing her home, safe and sound. I begin to rub Fuyu's head while chuckling to myself. So what you're saying is you're so concerned about your friend's happiness that you'd give up your own life in order for her to achieve it. That isn't what I said. I just don't want the pack to suffer because of that girl's selfish whims, that's all. Yes, Yoshi, I understand. I continue to pet Fuyu as she sulks. Despite her usual temperament, she doesn't push my hand away, nor does she appear to dislike the contact. If she weren't so proud, she might actually give in to the feeling and lean in closer. But you know, Fuyu, as great as it is to be loyal, you shouldn't put so little importance on your own life. As your pack misses Mirai, I'm sure they miss you too. And I know for a fact that if you were gone, Mirai would be devastated. So don't throw your life away, okay? Take care of yourself just as you take care of Mirai. Yeah, you work so hard, don't you? After a long night of watching Fuyu fuss over Mirai, I eventually turn in for the night and go to bed. Convincing Fuyu to do the same proves surprisingly difficult. She's adamant about being there for Mirai and doesn't want to leave her side. It isn't until I convey to Fuyu the expected time at which Mirai will awaken, a complete lie on my part, that Fuyu finally agrees to rest. She snuggles up next to Mirai, just as they had when they slept on the couch together previously. Before long, Fuyu is sound asleep. Those two seriously are a handful. Maybe I shouldn't get a pet after all. Looking after these two is already tiring enough. Well, I better go see how those two are doing. If I'm lucky, maybe they'll have slept in. Despite my optimism, the very first thing I see upon entering the living room is the sight of Fuyu towering over Mirai. I mean it. I'm feeling much better now. Really, I can get up on my own. I don't care if you're feeling better. No means no. You're gonna stay in bed and rest, got it? No, but what about breakfast? I'll make breakfast. You keep resting and bring your portion. I'll bring your portion over to you. What? Would that really be all right? You haven't received the same training that I have. Don't you worry about me. It'll be a piece of cake. How hard can human cuisine be anyway? If Abi-chan can make it, then there's no way someone like me won't be able to. Oh. Is that so? That's quite a declaration there, Fuyu. Fuyu freezes up the moment she hears my voice. I like how we just... Every time we walk downstairs, we hear Fuyu bashing on me. But she's so cute. Her eyes grow really wide. She's like, oh. Oh, she threatened to kick my ass at the very first time I met her. With great hesitation, Fuyu slowly turns her head until she's looking at me out of the corner of her eye. Abi-chan, how long have you been standing there? Long enough to hear you promise that you'll be making us all breakfast. Do you need me to show you where the storeroom is? Well, Fuyu averts her gaze as she tries to avoid my question. It seems this rowdy wolf girl doesn't possess her princess's knowledge of such things after all. Abi-chan! Before I can tease Fuyu any further, Midori calls out to me in a surprisingly assertive voice. Yes, Midori? Abi-chan, I'm sorry. Princess? Fuyu and I both stare at Midori in surprise as she hangs her head. Even after you told me to leave, even after I resolved myself to stop relying on your kindness, here I am once again. I've burdened you once more, forcing you to take care of me even after you've done so much for me already. I just want you to know that this is it. As soon as I'm able, I'll leave the cabin and never come back. I will never bother you again. Oh, no, Mirari, no. It's okay. Princess. Despite the fact that Mirari is now agreeing to leave without a fight, even Fuyu can't accept her downhearted proclamation. If Mirari had been able to declare that with a smile on her face, that she would return to her pack, I would wish her well. Fuyu would be happily lead her along, the duo would return home, and that would be the end of it. Even Midori's current state of mind. Given Midori's current state of mind, however, think before you speak, Midori. If you say something that stupid, there's no way I'm gonna let you leave. Abi-chan? Listen to me, Midori. This is twice now that you've almost died because you've gone out unprepared. The weather's been unpredictable lately. The paths have changed, and half of the snow underfoot is unstable. I'm not going to be held responsible for you running off to your death, Midori, so... Until I say otherwise, the two of you are staying here with me, got it? You mean that... We can stay? Yes. Princess, did you hear that? We can stay! We can stay here after all! This is such a relief! Yes, Princess, I'm also... I'm happy for you, Princess! If you linger here a while, for the sake of your recovery, then I have no choice but to keep you company. The two girls join hands and bounce on their heels, wearing expressions of joy as they do. Contrary to Fuyu's words, it seems she is as relieved as Mirari. You're so transparent, Fuyu. Tsundere. She's so cute. Can't you just honestly say that you don't know how to get home and you're afraid of putting Mirari in danger again? Chuckling to myself, I move closer to the two girls. Remember, this is just until the weather clears up and you're able to make your way back home. I'll be listening to the radio every day for any mention of a snow being cleared away or the weather improving. Understood. We shan't overstate our welcome a second time. When the time is right, we will leave without a fuss. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by for this episode. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me because you already know your support's greatly appreciated. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on the series thus far, as well as subscribing if you have not done so already. Thank you guys so much for coming out here, and we'll see you all next time.